Hello everyone, welcome again. Today I wanted to show you some maintenance stuff for Debian. This was one thing I didn't talk too much about, and it's also quite useful to have some of the tools and stuff that I'm gonna show you in this video. Well, since I'm recording this video while it's spring, so I guess it's time for some spring cleaning, if you can call it that. Well, let's go to our terminal. Let us check. So first thing you need to have is of course time shift. So time shift is a software. With this software you can back up your Debian distribution. You can just set all the settings, like I'm gonna show you right now quite fast how to set them. So choose rsync. Location, of course, it would be good to choose an external location here, so additional disk would be required. Schedule, this is my schedule that I set up for myself. You can copy that, or you can just do your own schedule. It's basically doing snapshots, so you can have like 2 snapshots daily, or you can have even more, like 5 of them. Users, check those. Exclude all files if you have quite a lot of documents that you don't want to be overwritten when you actually go back to the snapshot, because if you choose this, include all files, just remember when you're gonna go back to one of the snapshots, your files that you have in your home directory are gonna be overwritten, so you're gonna lose those. That's why I choose exclude all files. Filters, I leave it at this. And the date format, you can change it here if you want. The format that your actual snapshot is going to be configured, and it's gonna look like one of those dates. Well, the format of the snapshot that is gonna appear here. First, to restart, you just take one snapshot and press restore, and that's all. So that's time shift. That's the first and main thing that you should take care of if it goes to maintenance stuff. You should have it on your distribution. Second thing is something called bleach bit. I'm gonna show you in a moment. We're gonna install it from the source. Let's just go to there you go, bleach bit. That's one of the softwares that you can use for maintenance on your Debian. Just choose Linux distribution. Bullseye. And let's just wait a moment. Okay. Save the file. And now let's install it. Okay, it's gone. And there you go. You have BleachBit installed straight from the source, so the newest version for Debian. Let's open it. Okay, I usually leave those as they are. I don't tinker around much with it. So basically here you can choose what you would like to clean. So you can choose like for apt, just push the button for apt and you just have all the stuff that is required for apt already checked. So it's gonna do all the stuff like auto clean, auto remove, clean, package lists. Next, bash, deep scan. If it goes to deep scan, I leave it. Don't tick this on. I leave the deep scan off. Evolution, Firefox, of course. Yeah. GNOME. Okay. LibreOffice. If it goes to the system, here we can tick everything on. Do you want to? Okay. You can tick everything on, but then you just need to remember to untick. So, free disk space. Memory. And localizations. That's the stuff you should leave without. You should just skip those three. And thumbnails. And let's go for clean. Yep. If you're gonna have some kind of red, like here permission denied, just remember that you can always open BleachBit, because I opened it not as a sudo admin, as an admin. I just opened it as a normal user. You can open it here as an admin, and then you won't have any red notifications. It will just clean everything out. So BleachBit is really nice. It goes to this really easy. Just remember which stuff to take and which not, or which you should skip. Okay. So next thing I would like to talk about is updating your kernel and your firmware. So if you would like to update your kernel, I'm just gonna jump to my root account. Okay. So first thing, we would need to add a little bit of change to our sources.list. What kind of change? Well, actually we need to add contrib and non-free resources, because if you have only main, then you won't be able to update the kernel as I'm going to show you right now, so we need to change that. So to do it, let's do code. So this is the first one we need to add to our sources.list. So Debian unstable main contrib none. And the second one, alright. So this is how it looks, and that's the second one we need to add. Now what we need to do is now let's see apt, and here preferences. Here you will need to add a little bit of text. So okay. Now AMD 64 pin release I equals unstable pin minus priority 1000 package. Okay. Pin stay. Pin 100. Okay, and that's all. Save it. Let's clear the screen a little bit. Now let's do it's gonna take us a moment. Okay. What we can do actually is also now apt apt upgrade . And as you can see, I'm pulling from Linux image 5.18.0, so this is gonna be the newest kernel, because mine was 5.16, so I'm gonna have now 5.18. Well, it takes a little bit of time. Probably would be faster if I'd done it with Nala, which I showed in my previous videos with the Debian graphical install. Check this out. Should be in the second video of my tutorial for graphical Debian, how to install Nala. Pretty useful because it's faster than Apt, because it pulls from 3 different mirrors instead of 1. So the download time is tremendously faster. Okay, it's almost done. After this, I'm going to show you how to install your graphic drivers. Of course, you will first need to determine what kind of graphic card you have and then what you should do next. Just remember that after installing your graphic drivers, it would be recommended that you, after the reboot, started some kind of graphical program, like a game or whatever, that you can actually check if everything is fine. And of course, before doing any kind of major upgrades for the kernel and for your drivers, I would recommend making a snapshot with time shift. It's better to have one than not. Of course, if you have a snapshot schedule and you have like snapshot done 5 times a day or whatever, you won't have any problems. Okay, but this is ready, so now let's just go and do reboot. You can use in the grub configuration quiet splash, then it should disable this. Instead, you would just have a Debian logo, and all of those things that you can see here would be disabled. I also talked about this in my tutorial regarding installation of graphical Debian. Alright. We're back. Now we just have to check our kernel. So let's go to terminal. No. Root account. Let's check. As you can see, my kernel has been upgraded to 0.18 version. You can also do apt we're gonna pull down NeoFetch. Okay, and now just run NeoFetch. There we go. OS, host, and kernel uptime. Pretty nice stuff. You can have even the CPU and GPU, so you don't even need to check your graphic card. You can just run NeoFetch and you're gonna have your graphic card listed here. Of course, as you can see, I have a VGA adapter because it's a virtual adapter, so I won't have anything here, but you would probably have something like GeForce or Nvidia or whatever. Okay, so let's go to the graphic card, because you can check your graphic card like this using NeoFetch, or you can actually use something like grep pipe grep -in VGA. And there you go, this is your adapter, mine is this one. Yours would be something like, I'm gonna show you in a moment. Let's say something like this. I would be able, this is just a sample of what you could get. And detected Nvidia GPUs, and there you go, VGA compatible controller Nvidia. So somebody has like a GeForce GTX, for example. So if you actually know what you have, determined it, you can now try to install the newest drivers. So before installing any Nvidia drivers, you will need to install the proper kernel headers for Nvidia driver to build with. So you can install either 64-bit or 32-bit, depending what kind of distribution you have, and you can find those out by running ls cpu command. So like I showed you, now we can do apt install linux headers AMD 64. I'm pretty sure I got them installed. Yes, I got them installed in newest version, so I'm quite okay. But you will have to check your own version. If you don't have it, install it or update it to the newest one. So this is the first step you need to take. Next, you can install the package Nvidia Detect, which will automatically suggest the best package for your graphic card. So let's do it. apt install Nvidia Detect. Okay, it's pulling the detect from internet, and we got it. Fine. Okay. Let's run. As you can see, I have no Nvidia GPUs detected, but if I had, I would probably have something like I showed you before on the picture, so like a GTX or whatever. It would appear here, the model of my Nvidia card. So I would be 100% sure that my card is Nvidia, and I can pull specific drivers for it. Okay, so now after all of this, we need to install, of course, the Nvidia driver package. So you would do it with apt install Nvidia driver. So it's apt install Nvidia driver Linux image AMD64. Okay, so I'm not gonna do it because I don't have Nvidia anyway, because this is only a graphical VGA virtual adapter. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Just remember that when you actually do this, you're gonna have a screen where you have to press yes, so for installing all the drivers, and once all of the drivers are installed, there's gonna pop up another screen where you have to press OK, and after you press the OK button, you just need to reboot your Debian, and your drivers are gonna be installed to the newest ones. Okay, so as you can see, it's not gonna do anything here. Okay, so actually the last thing I wanted to talk about when doing maintenance on our Linux distribution is a software called Stacker. So if we open our root account, let's install Stacker. I think Stacker is sorry, not Stacker, Stacer. Okay, let's pull it down. So it's called Stacer, and Stacer basically is Stacer is a bleach bit, but on steroids, because it has quite a lot of options you can use, like pretty good options, to be honest. I'm gonna show you in a moment. It's just above the version of bleach bit. So it's up to you which one you want to use, bleach bit or Stacker, or you can have them both. There you go, nice graphical interface, pretty easy to understand, nothing special around here. So you can see here you can have your system info. Here startup apps, you can add a startup app if you have an app that you want to start, or you want to remove some apps from your startup, you can do it here. Secondly, this is the system cleaner, where you just take all the stuff that you want to clean, press one button, clean it, select all, clean, root password, and there you go, 77 megabytes of files cleaned. Okay, search file. I think you can search and browse for files here. Next one, services. You can actually either start up at boot, so you can actually put here the services that you want to start up at boot time, and here running now. So you can either disable some services if you don't want for them to run when you start up the Debian, or you can just put them on so you want them to go. As the Debian starts, the same goes for here running now. You can just shut them off if you want. Some specific ones. I have all of them here. Enabled, you can do all the enabled ones, and running, so have all those. You can do disabled and not running, for example. Okay, processes, there you go. You have here all the processes. You can just take one process, end the process. So this is basically like a manager for the processes. You can just end the process if you need it to. Refresh rate, I think it's best to set on one. Okay, packages. Different packages that are actually installed on our Debian. If you want to uninstall one persistent package, like one specific package, then you can just type it here, which one you're looking for, or you can just look it up here on the list and then press it and uninstall the selected package like this. Next, resources. So of course your CPU history, how much percent of your CPU is being used. You have of course swap here, history of memory, history of your network, disk writing, CPU load, average load. Helpers, host manager. Host manager, I guess you can just put a new host here, IP address, fully qualified name, aliases. Apt Repository Manager. This is also quite nice. You can change your repository, you can add stuff to your repository just by editing. Yes, let's try to search. This is search, add repository. Yeah, here you add the repository, enable the source, and then save, and it's gonna come up here. So you won't need to actually put it in the terminal or by the terminal, or you won't need to edit the sources that list manually. You can just put it here, enable the source, save, and it's gonna be here. So really nice feature. This is fucked up. 1, 2, 3, 4 backslashes or slashes. Something's wrong with this one, that's for sure. Should be two like all of those. And this one is fucked, I guess. Goodbye, Sleeping Beauty. Okay, settings, language, disk, startup page, dashboard, alert messages, CPU percent. I guess when you can set alerts when your percentage of CPU is too high. The same goes for memory. And well, basically that's it, and it's Stacer version 1.101. So that's Stacer. I think it's a really nice program, really nice software. Like I said, it's bleach bitten buffs or on steroids, because it has tons of useful stuff. What's this? Feedback. It's nothing important. Okay, so just quit. If it goes to Debian maintenance, that's all I wanted to show you. Hope it's gonna be useful for you. Check out my other videos on my channel regarding installation of Debian graphical interface and different things that you can install on your Debian that would be useful for you. Of course, I have a Debian tutorial, server tutorial, if you're interested in Debian servers. So I will see you soon. Take care.